to the cloud. Okay. All right. I think I did it. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. Okay, so hi everybody, welcome to Dope Moments. Again, if you're just sort of getting into class, my name is Emily. I'm gonna lead us through our practice. This is Colin. Hi Colin. Colin is my husband, and welcome to our beautiful home. We're calling it Dope Home-ments for the foreseeable future. So welcome, I'm so grateful that you took the time to come here to have some practice and to come together in this way. And we're just going to jump right into class. So something that I'm really trying to work with just sort of in my own body, I've noticed just with all of the stress, we'll just call it the stress. I have noticed a lot of tightness in my chest, right? Just like almost like I can kind of feel, it almost feels a little bit like heartbreak, or I felt like a pressure or just like some tenderness in my ribs. So what I really wanted to work on today was kind of specifically focusing on the heart, lungs, and that area of the body. But also, when I think about why I would be experiencing that kind of sensation under this kind of stress, is that when things feel like heavy or uncertain, that's just like naturally what the body wants to do, is it wants to brace, it wants to kind of tighten and contract. It's trying to kind of protect, right, from all of this very overwhelming, right, experience. And when the body contracts, you know, it's just harder for the breath to move freely. So I don't want to do like a super strong like pranayama practice or anything, honestly. Like I feel anything like that would probably be just a little bit too overwhelming for me personally. But what I do want to work with is this idea of cultivating the inhale. When we think about our breath practice or our pranayama, right, our pranayama practice, prana means like this life force energy. And our inhale kind of represents saying yes. It kind of represents saying yes to the moment, to our experience, whether that experience is easy or not easy. It's about yoga. It's about connecting to what is actually happening. So opposed to like really like taking deep breaths and trying to like force myself to be okay or to be in this situation feeling really awesome or whatever, I just wanted to gently and with a lot of compassion and patience, just work a little bit with the inhale specifically to allow myself mostly just to process the feelings that I'm actually having. So we'll speak to that a little bit throughout class. We'll have like a boss vinyasa practice, and then we're going to end class with a little bit of conscious breathing. So I'm really glad you're all here. We're going to go ahead and get started in a seat. Oh, the other thing to kind of mention is we're going to work a few binding actions where you grab your hands in a fist behind you. I went ahead and just grabbed a scarf from my closet because sometimes if you have a yoga strap, you can use that, but sometimes having a piece of fabric or a scarf or a t-shirt can be helpful. I have a yoga block, so I'm going to use it to sit on, but if you do not have a block, it's not a big deal. You can just have a seat on the ground or a blanket. Take a minute to land. So go ahead and use your seat, whatever that seat needs to look like for you. And as you land here, take a moment just to kind of become aware and favor the experience of your body in contact with the earth. So however you're sitting and whatever you're sitting on, just give yourself a moment to notice what that feels like. Right, and as you take this moment to consciously sort of slow down, without managing or changing your breath, I'm going to invite you just to notice the quality of your breath. maybe the characteristic of the breath. Do you feel it in maybe the nostrils? Is there a temperature? You might notice how your body rises and falls with the inhale and the exhale. And I want us to be very, very mindful here and very gentle in just knowing that this isn't about forcing ourselves to have a different experience or to change the experience we're having. It's really about cultivating presence and a deep listening, right? This ability to sort of validate your experience without judgment. And as you take the time to kind of settle into yourself here, maybe take your fingertips or your hands and just bring them to your chest. And as if you were touching like the petals of a rose or a delicate piece of silk, I'm going to ask you just to gently sort of touch your sternum, your chest. You're not trying to massage or like do anything to manipulate, but just a way of bringing a little bit of gentle presence, almost as if just to say like, I'm here, right? I feel you. You might take your fingertips to the side, right, of your ribs just for a moment. Maybe the other side. And then down to your solar plexus area. So right below the rib cage, maybe just right below or right above the navel. Maybe just sensing the warmth of your hands. And as you do this, just noticing the breath. And go ahead and relax your hands down, maybe to your thighs or to your lap. But right away, just notice that tender quality of curiosity, right? Or that listening, that even just that small little exercise we just did cultivated, and really carry that through all of your poses. Before we move into vinyasa, I'd like for us to just take a brief moment to acknowledge each other, right? All the different people that decided to log in to come together for this radical yoga practice, dope moments, acknowledge each other, maybe send out just some big love, some warmth, some friendliness, and just really welcome all of yourself and each other into the practice. We'll begin uniting with the seed sound of Om. Take a nice full deep breath in. Open mouth, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. Good, nice big breath in. Breath out. So I'm going to ask us to go ahead and come into a tabletop position. So choose what is the front of your mat, because we're going to move to the front and to the back quite a bit. So choose whatever is going to be the front for you and face front, coming into a neutral table pose. So stacking the shoulders over the elbows, over the wrists, right, the hips over the knees, and right away spread your fingers nice and wide. Really press your hands down. And just for a moment, what would it be like to really give the weight of yourself physically, energetically, emotionally to the earth? And just a moment to kind of feel, again, the points of contact between the body and the floor, and how the earth kind of rises up to support you unconditionally. Just remember that if you wobble, if you fall in your practice, the earth is going to catch you, right? That support is always there. So just lean into it. Right, bring your shoulder blades up, back and together. If it feels good, you might close down your eyes, and let's start to explore the range of motion in the spine. Inhaling for cow pose, please. Drop your belly and lift your gaze. Exhaling for cat pose, press into the mat, dome the shoulders, and gaze back at your thighs. Good. Again, inhale for cow, arching the spine, spread the collarbones, open up the throat. Good. Exhaling cat, doming, rounding, pulling navel to spine. One more together, please. Inhaling through the cow pose. Exhaling through the cat pose. And take a few more rounds of breath here on your own, and allow the movement just to become organic and intuitive. That's kind of the cool thing about having our home practice, is that nobody is going to see what you're doing. It wouldn't matter anyway, but you can just kind of wiggle into the places that feel sticky. If you feel like you need to pause and rest in a specific shape, please do so. But just allow the breath to move with the body. Let the body kind of move the breath. That's the wonderful thing about there's so many wonderful things about our asana practice, but one of the wonderful things about the asana practice is that we do a lot of really intentional movement that creates more space for breath. So we're not trying to force the breath in. Let's let the body kind of wiggle around and creates more space, more capacity for breath to come in naturally. Take a few more rounds of whatever you're doing on your own, a little bit of free movement. Good. And then start to come back through a neutral table pose. Keep your left hand nice and rooted on the ground, and inhale your right arm up and open. Good. Exhale to thread the needle, right arm underneath your left. Good. You can come to resting on your right shoulder, your right cheek. And you can kind of take a moment to notice what's happening in your hips. Some of you might need to shift a little bit more forward. Some of you will shift a little bit further back. Mostly we're just kind of working a little bit of compression here through the front, right, of the right shoulder, and a lot of opening through the back of the heart lung. Right, just give it a breath to notice. Good, and then use your left palm underneath your shoulder, press into the earth, and inhale the right arm back up and open. Good, exhale back through your table pose. We'll do that on the other side, right hand roots. Inhale your left arm up and open. Good, and exhale to thread the needle, left arm underneath the right. Right, and as always, just give yourself time and space to be curious about how you're landing, where your body weight is resting. Yeah, maybe add in a different arm variation or a half bind. Good, and you can plant your right hand back underneath your right shoulder. Inhale the left arm up and open. Good, exhale through table pose. Good, you can bring your shoulder blades up, back and together, right? Tuck your toes and press your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Good, and let's take a few breaths here. You can pedal out your heels, right? Bend your knees. Good. And we'll take just a few breaths here to sort of warm up, right, into our first big inversion of practice, right? So spread your fingers nice and wide. You're using your hands as feet, right? So press through your palms, your knuckles, your fingertips. Bring a big, generous bend into your knees here for a moment. This is going to relax the hamstring so you can refine the action of lifting the tailbone high up and back, right? You can relax your head and neck, give yourself a few deep breaths. And then as you're ready, begin to straighten your legs and drop your heels to whatever degree feels appropriate, right? Take a big breath in. Open mouth, HA. Good. Inhale, look forward to the top of your mat. Exhale, step forward for Ragdoll Uttanasana. Spread your feet hip width distance. Your knees can be real soft here. Let your belly come down to your thighs. You're welcome to use your hands as support here on the ground, but you might like to grab for your elbows or sway side to side. I mean, just noticing, again, we haven't really queued up any big pranayama practice yet for class or anything like that. Just kind of noticing how your natural breath will push and pull on the pose, the places that are compressed, the places that feel open. You might stay like this, or I'm going to invite you to interlace your fingers behind your back for shoulder expansion. This would be a good place to grab that scarf or that scrap if you need it. Right, just letting gravity kind of pull the weight of your fists forward. Right, trust the ground underneath you and your strong legs, and pour all of your awareness right into your heart space. And just give yourself a moment to be with the depth, the warmth, and the energy of that area of your body. Let's give it one more big breath. Good. Exhale, release your hands into a forward fold. Now take a moment here to choose your feet for sun salutation. Some of you are going to toe heel your feet to touch. I like to bring my feet right underneath my hips, so you can just kind of choose for yourself. Bring a big bend into your knees and inhale into a halfway lift. So lengthen the spine, pull the shoulder blades up, back and together. Good. One more breath in. And then exhale to fold, hips up, head low. Good. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale, halfway lift, length. Good. Exhale to fold. One more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good. Now keep the bend in your knees and slowly let's take a couple breaths to unfurl and rise all the way up to standing. And when you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up and back. And let's do that a few times. Give yourself a moment to kind of settle. Good. And as you're ready, let's come into Samastitihi. Equal on all sides standing pose, so root through all four corners of your feet. You might kind of notice what it's like if you tuck your tail or flare your tail, just kind of let things feel strong and stacked and neutral. Allow your shoulders to shrug down your back. And your palms can either face forward or you can bring your hands to your heart. Anjali Mudra. For those of you that are coming into Anjali Mudra, I'm going to encourage you to kind of press your thumbs into your sternum and gently tuck your chin so you can kind of feel your breath on your fingertips. And we're going to spend just a few moments in this posture just to get quiet, and as always, just to gently validate your experience. Remember, it's not about having the right experience or necessarily a better or easier experience. It's really about growing the capacity to stay connected to the experience you're having. What is it, right? What is the information coming forward from your physical body, your muscles, your bones? And what's your energy level like today? Your emotional tone? I know for a lot of us, there's just a lot going on underneath the surface. So just gently being open to feeling it. And it's important to take a moment to notice that your mind is thinking and that it is going to narrate this entire experience. And that's okay. The mind is there to help us resolve and plan and create and fix and solve. But for the rest of this hour, I'm going to encourage all of us to favor the felt sense, right? The felt sense experience of ourself. What do things feel like? And from this very honest and a very courageous place, right? Just being with yourself as you are. Find that big breath in, say yes. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Let's do one more just like that. Radical okayness, this moment. Breathe it in. Open mouth, HA. Good. Release your arms down by your sides. We'll start to flow through some sun salutations. Good. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, the arms up, pose, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, hinge at your hips and bend your knees as much as you like. Inhale is halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to high plank pose, Dandasana. Right, looks like top of a push-up, and breathe. Right, you're always welcome to come down to your forearms and your knees now or any time. If you're staying lifted, shoulders, elbows, wrists are stacked, right? Looking out in front of you, the body is working one strong line of energy. Press the earth away and just breathe. Maybe close your eyes. We're not here long, but give yourself permission to feel it. And just remember that you know how to be challenged. You know what it's like to be in intense situations. You know what it's like to, you know, have these sort of loud experiences, because that's what plank is, right? You can handle it. Give it a breath. Exhale, shift forward, lower down all the way onto your belly, right? How quickly things change. Untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet down. Inhale for Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Lift your head, neck, and chest and pause. Just a couple breaths here, right? Let your back body light up as you pull your heart forward and up. Big breath in. Good. Exhale to lower. Press your hands down into the ground. Inhale through table pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in to look forward, top of your mat. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Let the breath pull you up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Good, beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back for plank and pause, right? We're just gonna take a moment here, not long. So option to come down to the belly like we just did for Cobra, or this time inhale, shift forward onto your toes. Exhale, lower down just halfway, elbows in for Chaturanga. Good, flip your toes. Inhale for upward facing dog. Pull the heart forward and up. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, pedal it out, take a couple breaths. We're gonna do some just like strong flow right in the beginning of class here. So just remember, as always, there's lots of good and intelligent ways to do this. You're welcome to rest. You're welcome to be creative. You're welcome to take Chaturanga on your knees. You're welcome to do Cobra instead of upward facing dog. Be open, be curious, trust yourself, your practice, your body. They're always going to be your best teachers. Most importantly, be yourself, right? And just do your best, right? Here we go. One body, one breath, one entity, and for each other. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Good. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Good. Exhale, plant your hands, step or jump, Chaturanga, your version. Inhale, upward facing or Cobra. Exhale, downward facing. Press your hands down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, Ardha. Exhale, Chaturanga, step, jump it, or skip it. Inhale is upward facing or Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, prepare. Look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or float. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Good. Exhale, bring your hands to your lower back and pause. We're going to set up a supported back bend here. So a moment to root through your feet, strong through your legs. We haven't talked about it today, but Bandha, bring the navel up and in for Uddiyana Bandha, knitting the ribs together. I'm going to encourage you just to kind of squeeze your shoulder blades and your elbows together and notice where that creates sort of opening through the chest, and breathe into that. What does that feel like when you breathe while making this shape? Right? So you're already doing it. You're already creating the space that we're looking for. You might experiment with squeezing your butt together and pushing your hips forward. As you do this, lift the sternum, right? You might look up, You might look back, but stay with your breath just for 3, right? Arms up in 2 and 1. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale for halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Good, listen, exhale, plant your hands and step your left leg back to low lunge. Right, I'm gonna start to balance here right away. So feet are on separate tracks. Right, you're gonna stay nice and strong and engaged through your back leg. Inhale is Anjaneyasana, the high lunge. Lift your chest, arms up. Yeah, and let's just take a couple moments here to breathe. I know in our house here, we're like on half carpet and half hardwood. So just notice the surfaces underneath you and what you need to do to kind of calibrate and get strong. And know that coming down to your back knee is always a great option and a very traditional way to do the pose. Right, from here, the refinements are the same. You're gonna feel your right hip pull back, left hip forward, strong through your belly. Option to stay or take a breath in to lift the chest. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus your arms, lift your gaze. Good, inhale, back up to reach up. Exhale, forward or low lunge. Plant your hands to frame your right foot. Good, now from here, sort of hinge back and forth on your back toes. So you're just sort of bending forward and back, and see if you can get a little bit of momentum here. You're gonna take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, step up. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, gentle baby back bend, lift the chest. Inhale, back up to reach up. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg steps back this time for lunge. So the left foot is forward, a moment just to root, to land, right? Let that strong foundation, support you. Breath pulls you up. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. And then let's breathe, right? Let's give yourself a moment to make just those tiny little adjustments, right? Can make such a big difference. So notice where your, where bones are sort of bearing your weight here. Notice what happens when you shift front to back, right? Side to side. Let yourself stabilize. You're welcome to stay or take that breath in. Good, exhale to back bend. Inhale, back up, reach up. Exhale, low lunge, hands frame your left foot. Good, and just this first time, right, sort of hinge back and forth on your back foot so you kind of feel that action of pulling forward, because that's where we're going. Take the breath in. Exhale, fold, step up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. We're gonna do it with breath. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to back bend. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, left leg back. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, reach up. Exhale to back bend. Inhale, pull yourself up. Exhale, low lunge, find the earth. Take the breath in. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg steps back. Good, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Stay or exhale to back bend. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good, listen, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Good, and then exhale, come into just a gentle Utkatasana. Right, so sitting a little hinge at the knee here, sit your butt back. You can kind of let your weight go into your heels. And so we're gonna do something a little different today. I don't think I've even ever asked Colin to do any of this, but you're gonna interlace your fingers, right? Like a little basket, and bring that little basket right behind your head, right? Sort of at the nape of your neck skull area, right? So this is kind of like a big chest opener. I'm gonna ask you to inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, round forward. Imagine you want to get your elbows to touch. Twice more. Inhale, opens you up. Exhale, elbows to touch. One more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbows to touch. Good, keep your fingers interlaced. Inhale, stand up, reach up, maybe bring your palms to the ceiling. Exhale, side bend to the right. Good, inhale back up through neutral. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale back up. Good, exhale to back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands and step your left leg back, low lunge. Good, pause. Different this time. Back heel is gonna spin down 45 degrees or so. Yeah, you might wanna shorten your stance or maybe even walk your right foot up. No, it's gonna be warrior one. So take up some space. Good. Inhale for warrior one, Virabhadrasana, and breathe. Good. And then just take a moment, maybe bend in and out of your front knee. Settle into this action of lunging. You're working your right knee like toward or to stack over your right ankle the best you can. But let this be a super strong standing pose, right? Not necessarily a balancing pose. So if you want to get your feet underneath your hips or even wider, that's fine. Imagine your left hip pulling forward, your right hip pulling back, right? That strong Uddiyana Bandha to keep the chest lifting up and open. Let's take one more big breath in. The change is different. Good, exhale, warrior two to the back. So whatever the back of your mat is, open up that way. Good, perfect. And just take time to adjust. Use your eyes, settle in, right? Your working heel, your sort of that wide, long lunge stance, right? Imagine that your right heel was the furthest thing away from you. You could almost sort of pigeon your right toes in a little bit. Good, and then settle into that fierce warrior lunge. Great. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, triangle, Trikonasana, bump your hips back, find a little reach here, and just let yourself sort of calibrate. This is a balancing posture for sure. So if you need to shorten your stance or bring a little bit of softness into your front knee to feel more stable, sometimes those are really good options. It's a twisting pose, right? So you're gonna feel your right hip pull forward like it wanted to go down towards the ground and your left hip pull back. And then the rib cage twist in that opposite direction, right? Rib cage up and open. Good, now the chest is gonna lift. Inhale for high pyramid. Good, exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. And this first time here, bend your knees, right? Bring your hands to the ground, maybe relax your head and your neck and just check in. Check in with what things feel like, with where the earth is, with your breath. And we'll stay for another few breaths. So as you sort of settle into the posture, if it asks you to lunge or twist or to take a big sigh or a yawn, do those things. Good. And start to come back through your neutral Prasarita. Good, inhale for a halfway lift. Good, now exhale, low lunge to the front. Whatever the front of your mat is, go back there. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right leg back, low lunge. Good, back heel down, that 45 degrees or so. If you need to shorten your stance a little bit, do it. Inhale, warrior one. Good, lift your chest, arms up. And then give yourself permission to move a little bit, right? This is a lunging action, so notice the joints that need to sort of hinge and move around to create it, right? You might experiment with twisting sort of your hips side to side, noticing the action of the thigh bones and the hip sockets, right? And then pressing nice and strong, right? Really press, press, press through that back heel, right? Inhale to lift your chest. Good, exhale, warrior two all the way to the back. Good, yeah, and take your time to settle into it. You might need to widen your stance a little bit. Different ask on your bones and your joints than warrior one. So settle in with that fierce focus over your front middle finger. Good, inhale just to straighten the front knee. Exhale for triangle, Trikonasana, find that reach, right arm down, left arm up, right? And let this be a moment to feel your body balance. And when things feel uncertain or wobbly, first and foremost, notice your body's sensitivity to calibrate without you even having to think about it. All of the little muscles in your ankles, right, that are constantly sort of almost like twitching to keep you balanced. and also your ability to take care of yourself, to take a different variation, to find stability where you need it. This is not a leaning pose. This is a standing pose. So let the left rib cage pull up and open. Inhale for high pyramid. Breath pulls you up, palms touch. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. No break this time, right away. Inhale for halfway lift. Good, exhale, low lunge to the front. Good, this time, step your left foot to meet your right foot in downward facing dog. Good, now step your foot, your feet from down dog up just about a foot. So you're just in like this shortened down dog. You can kind of stay here, let your shoulders relax down your back, maybe kind of soften through your head and neck, or keep your left hand rooted, nice and strong. You're going to use your right hand to grab for the outside edge of the left shin or ankle, and you'll kind of use that leverage of the grip on your shin to twist your chest, right? Bringing your left rib cage up and your right rib cage under. Let's take one more breath. Good, exhale, release both hands down. Just give yourself a moment. If you feel like you need to calibrate or adjust, please do. Right, and then as you're ready, let's try it on the other side. Right hand presses down. Float your left hand up. See what that's like. Maybe the left hand reaches for the right shin or ankle. And again, that moment of sort of using your hand to your leg, right, as something to sort of pull yourself deeper into this twist. Right, can you be active without being aggressive? One more big breath. Good, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up pose. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. We're gonna set up our peak wave. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Left leg is gonna step back for low lunge. Inhale, warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Good, listen, exhale, interlace all 10 fingers behind your back and pause. Yeah, behind your back. And just a moment to root, right? Get your feet underneath your hips, right? As you pull your fist down, as you sort of squeeze your shoulder blades together, right? Allow this sort of puffing of the chest to happen like this would be in like the animal kingdom. I kind of think of a pigeon, right? So it's like, or like a lion. It's like this big, open, proud, present posture, right? Take that breath in. Exhale for humble warrior. Bow forward. Imagine you wanted to work your right shoulder toward your right knee. It may not get there. Just give yourself a couple moments again to pause and to notice. Where do you need to press to create discipline, balance, and stability in your legs? And then trust that. Trust that so you can kind of pour your chest, your face, all the way forward into softness. And stay for 3. Warrior 1 and 2. And 1, press through your feet. Inhale is warrior 1, breath pulls you up. Good, exhale, warrior 2 to the back. Oh my God, our dog. Inhale to straighten the front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana, right? So we've been here before, going right into that flow. Inhale for high pyramid, let the breath pull you up. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg is gonna step back, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana, reach up, and we're gonna pause here to add that layer. And so a moment just to, settle into your base, nice and rooted. Interlace all 10 fingers behind your back. Little bend in the elbows, let your shoulders shrug back, and then pull your fist down to make that nice, proud, right, courageous sort of action in your chest. And just breathe into it. Notice how the breath fills it. Good, exhale for humble warrior, right? Folding forward, left shoulder toward your left knee. And let's take a couple breaths. You begin to notice what happens in your lunge. Where do you need to press? Right, from a sense of stability and strength, where can you relax, even if it's just a little, even if it's just the idea. Good. From the earth, inhale, rise back up, warrior one. Right into our flow, exhale, warrior two to the back. Inhale to straighten the front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle. Inhale, high pyramid, reach up. Exhale, Prasarita. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward to fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Good, listen, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Good, exhale into that gentle fierce pose and breathe. Right, a moment just to shift the body weight back, right, the tail flare and the chest lift. Utkatasana is a back bend. Take that little basket, interlace your fingers behind your neck, right? Inhale, lift the chest, open the elbows. Exhale, round, touch the elbows. Again, inhale, opens you up. Exhale, round forward. One more, inhale, opens. Exhale to round. Good, keep your fingers interwoven. Inhale, stand up and reach up. Bring your palms to the ceiling. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back up. Exhale to back bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, Ardha. Exhale, plant your hands, Chaturanga, your version, or skip it. Inhale is upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a full breath in. Open mouth, HJ. Good, inhale, right leg kicks up, please. Exhale, half pigeon on the right. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist, your right foot somewhere behind your left wrist. Come down to your back knee, untuck your toes, and then settle in, right? Colin might stay just like this or come to the forearms, right? Maybe come all the way down. If this is not a wise choice for any reason in your hips or your knees, you can come down for a figure four stretch on your back. And you can invite your left leg in as close to your body as you like. We're gonna be here for a little bit, so I encourage you to find a place where you can be soft. Do you want a block underneath your hip? No, okay. We haven't talked a lot about pranayama in vinyasa today, or just the breath in general. A lot of us are really, experienced practitioners, and the Ujjayi breath just kicks on automatically. If you're a little bit newer to vinyasa or newer to me or have no idea what that means, you want to know what? Cool. You're moving with your inhales and your exhales. More importantly than trying to manipulate this into being some big, expansive, full breath, I want you just to notice where you're asking your body to open. And everybody's body is different, but definitely inside of half pigeon, you're probably feeling a lot in your hip region. And again, just if we could kind of almost imagine specifically the joints, but all of these different areas in our body where we're creating space in our stretching and our poses and all of that stuff, right? You're creating more space. If there's more space, there's more room. There naturally more breath will come in if there's more space. Focus on space more than breath. A few more moments here in pigeon. If you like, I'm going to invite you to thread the needle, right? So you can come back up onto your palms and you're going to do it on the left. So your left hand will come underneath your right. Yeah. Then you'll rest back down. And now imagine you wanted to you could stay like this, or you could bring your right arm behind you, like in a half bind. Yeah, and you might imagine, I don't know if Colin's gonna get there, but you might imagine you could grab your right big toe. 2 more breaths. So I'm sure we have lots of different variations going on, but just take a moment to ask yourself, where do I need to press? Where do I need to leverage my body weight? What is my strategy to get out of this shape? So press yourself up, press yourself out, engage your back leg, and you might like coming into a 3-legged dog here, right leg kicking high up and back. You might take a scorpion dog, bend your knee, roll your hip open, or just make some wiggles, maybe pedal out your heels. Nice. And let's take some time to set this up on the other side. Half pigeon on the left leg kicks high up. Good, exhale, left knee behind left wrist, left foot somewhere behind the right wrist. Untuck your back toes and settle in. If you're at home and you want to grab a couple couch cushions and put them underneath your left hip, you could experiment with that. Again, you might just choose, yeah, we got a dog toy. Again, you can come onto your back for the supine pigeon. I had a knee injury for years and I couldn't do this posture on the left. I always had to do supine on the left instead of half pigeon. So our poses can be radically, they can express themselves very differently from side to side. So always just be open to that. And again, just a moment here to allow this idea of space to come into your hips, your lower back. And for our last few breaths here, if you want to try threading the needle or working that sort of twisty bind, plant your hands. Your right hand, you're going to thread the needle on the right. So the right arm is going to come underneath, might come resting on the right cheek. You might stay there. The left arm might come behind you into a half bind, right? And you might grab for the left big toes. It's going to feel like you want to bend your right knee and do that big quad stretch, which isn't necessarily wrong. I'm sure it's a yoga pose with a name, but we're working a different bind here. You might grab those big toes of the left foot, you might not. Two more breaths. Good. You can, again, leverage, press, lift, engage. And for those of you in half pigeon, that 3-legged dog, maybe a scorpion dog, might feel real good. Give it a little wiggle, a little shake. Try to stay present to the sensation of release, not trying to necessarily manage it, but it might come with some tingling or a little bit of warmth. Kind of breathe into that. Good. Last down dog of practice. So wherever you are, a moment just to press your hands down. Give yourself a nice big breath in. Breath out. Good. And then from down dog, let's hinge forward into plank and come all the way onto the belly. So the first thing we're going to do is just a nice good round of cobra pose. We've already done one today. Let's do another one. So bring your thighs to touch, right? Imagine if you were a snake, you wouldn't have two tails unless you did, but we're going to pretend that you're just like regular snake vibes. You have one tail. Press your foot down. You might even feel your glutes kind of engage and your thighs engage, right? Inhale for cobra, lift the head, neck, and chest, and breathe. Now, without pressing your hands down, keep your hands on the mat, and imagine you wanted to pull the mat towards you, and you can just kind of use that pulling as a way to kind of help extend the chest forward and up. One more, breathe in. Oh, exhale to lower. Good. Let's make a little pillow here with the forearms. You can relax a cheek, maybe bend your knees, knock them side to side. Okay. We're going to do a couple more back bends or back strengthening poses, spine strengthening poses. Let's go with Sphinx next. So bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. like your palms were going to make, or your forearms are going to make the number 11, like you were the Sphinx, right? Now, a little bit different than Cobra, let your butt totally relax. You might even feel your heels kind of turn out. Just a couple of moments here to be with the compression at the lower back. And if this feels like enough, let it be enough, or keep your elbows where they are. Bring your hands out a little bit wider. We're going to practice seal. So you might imagine these are your little seal flippers. Yeah. Press your hands down to lift your chest. For some reason, I always want to let my head drop, so I'm going to do that, but you can not do that, and that's fine. One more, breathe in. Good. Exhale, lower down. Again, in a moment, just to kind of land. Okay. So last big pose here is going to be floor bow. So you can always just stay here, belly down Shavasana. You might like another round of the Sphinx or the seal. But for bow, you're going to bend your knees and then grab for the outsides of your feet. Good. Now just a moment to kind of settle. This is a big stretch through the quadriceps and the psoas. So this might feel like a lot and you're welcome to stay, or you can take a big breath in to lift your head, neck, and chest. And then exhale to kick into your hands, right? And lift up. Yeah, you might rock a little bit on the soft part of your belly. And it is intense. That's just like the truth of the posture. It's going to come with a big feeling. It's a big action. You're not here long, right? Give it a breath. Say yes to it. Yes. Exhale, lower all the way down. Good. You got it. All right. And then just let things kind of change, right? Sometimes coming out of those big moments come with just as much information when things kind of have to shift and settle back into place. Try to stay with everything landing. A couple more breaths here in belly down Shavasana. Notice all the points of contact between your body and the floor. All right, just a few more poses before we do a little bit of breathing practice and then final rest. So use your hands to kind of press yourself up and come to a seat. And bring your legs out in front of you and your arms behind you as support, like a little kickstand, so you can keep your chest lifted. And your feet are going to be maybe as wide as your mat, right? And you're just going to gently knock your knees side to side. Isn't Colin beautiful? Thank you for doing this. Okay, and the next time your knees are to the right, let them fall all the way to the right. Now you might need to actually just kind of press into your right hand and move your right hip underneath you. And then we're going to turn all the way to the back here for deer pose. I like to stay on my elbows just because if I had a bolster, I might lay all the way down, but to me, staying on the elbows feels better. We'll just melt all down, no problem. So maybe experiment. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Good. Use your hands, lift your chest. Let's come back up through center. And before we do the other side, bring your legs out long in front of you. You can bring a bend into your knees if that feels okay. Use your hands to kind of move your butt behind you. Okay, take a deep breath in to reach up. And exhale, Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold. Okay, lift your chest, right? Use your hands. It's a little bit of support behind you. Bring your knees out wide. Come onto your heels. And just a few moments here to kind of turn the thigh bones and the hip sockets. And the next time they come all the way to the left, let them fall. And just notice how when you do that, your pelvis is going to come with you because everything's attached. You might need to kind of scooch your left hip underneath you so your pelvis can really turn without so much resistance. And then turn your chest down, staying on your forearms or maybe melting all the way down to the ground. Few breaths. Good. Use your hands, press yourself up, and come back up through a seat. And then for the last little bit of class, I'm going to ask you to come supine. So maybe you lay down in Baddha Konasana, supine, or Supta Baddha Konasana, right? Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You might prefer active rest with your knees bent, soles of the feet flat to the floor. And some of you are just going to want to lay all the way down. But from here, and Colin will be my example, I'm going to ask you to bring both of your hands to your chest. Okay? So just placing your hands at your chest. And if you like, you can close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes, but if your eyes are open, let your gaze get soft, right? Just find one non-moving focal point. And instead of thinking about the breath so much as like pulling the breath in, for just a moment here, notice how your chest moves when you breathe. And there's no right experience to have. It might be a very small motion, right? It might feel more in your back or your side. So just notice. And now for just a few moments, I'm going to invite you to imagine you could kind of assist your body in that action, or that you could exaggerate it. Like if you feel your chest lifting, imagine you could actually kind of help the muscles lift the chest up towards the ceiling, or that you could make your chest bigger. And this doesn't need to be forceful. You're not reaching for anything specific. You're just noticing where your body does make space, where it does want to expand, and showing up with your awareness to support and to be present for that expansion. Now, as you feel, right, this opening of the chest area, I'm going to ask you to do 2 breaths through your mouth. So, like you were kind of sucking in through a straw, you're going to take a breath in. Right, and as if you were gently blowing like a really long kiss, you're going to exhale through your lips. Right, so allowing the expansion of your chest to exaggerate while you do it. We'll do it one more time. Inhale through that straw. And just let the exhale just, right, let everything just kind of soften. Good. Now move your hands again to the solar plexus. So right below your rib cage to the top of your belly. And spend, not long. Give yourself 30 seconds just to notice what's going on there. When I breathe, what's the rhythm? What's the motion? It's super common for us to kind of either feel a lot of activity in the chest or the belly, right? So some of us are big belly breathers, some of us are more upper respiratory chest breathers. So whether it's more subtle or more obvious is right. And now I'm going to ask you to exaggerate that movement. I kind of think about the Buddha, like if you were going to make a Buddha belly, right? And you were going to really puff your belly out, right? Or sometimes when you see a baby sleeping and they have just those beautiful, soft, big round bellies, just let your belly expand as you inhale, kind of pushing it out. And then let the exhale just kind of take care of itself. Let everything soften. Just kind of play with that for just a couple more breaths. And we'll do that same mouth pranayam, right? Like you were inhaling through a straw and exhaling that long, like you were blowing out birthday candles from a very long distance, right? So as you're ready on your next inhale, take the breath in through your mouth, really expand the belly. Good, breathe out. Let's do one more big breath, expand the belly, blowing it or breathing it in through a straw. Blow out. Good. Then keep one hand on your belly, one on your chest, and let everything return to normal. Nothing is forced. And we're gonna stay maybe, another minute here. Conscious relaxation if you want to change the shape of your legs, if you need to do something to help yourself, if you have an impulse to shift or make yourself more comfortable in a different way, please do. And just again, being with the ground underneath you and the warmth of your hands on your chest and your belly. And I'm going to call you up and out in just a little bit. Maybe keep your eyes closed, but just allow your awareness to become external to your environment. Notice the sounds, the space that you're in, the points of contact between your body and the floor. And give yourself a moment to bring a little bit of intentional movement into your fingers. And then it might feel good to reach your arms up overhead, take a big full body stretch, full belly breath. You might like to rock onto either side in a supported fetal position posture. Just stay on your back, but I'm going to encourage you to pause and to just give yourself a little bit of moment of space here to kind of cultivate a little bit of appreciation toward yourself for taking the time to do this, to do something super good, right? Physically for the body, but really this incredible willingness to say yes to your experience, not to say that this is okay or perfect or the way I want things to be, but to say that this is how things are, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to be curious, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to create space for more coherence, for more fluidity, for more flow. I'm going to let this in, I'm going to process it, and I'm going to let it back out. Right? Our yoga practices teach us such incredible strength and resilience. Thank you so much for taking the time for coming and really acknowledge that same willingness and courage that all the other people here also took to their yoga mat. And then as you feel ready, you can start to press yourself up to a seat. And I'm gonna set up my computer here with me and Colin. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys my dog who has been asleep. Where is she? On the couch the whole time. So I want to get a gallery view here. And if you like, you can turn on your screen. And I'm going to turn my Bluetooth off. Hi. And I thought it would be nice if we all Om together. I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay. Cool. All right, so I would like for us to close out class together and make your way into a seat. If you like, you can fold your hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Right, this hand gesture represents non-dualism, this idea that all seemingly oppositional forces can and do come together in the compassionate center of the heart, left and right, above and below, you and me, beginning and end. We'll close out our class today with 3 Oms. And take a nice full deep breath in. Open mouth, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. If you like, you can bring your thumbs to your third eye, strengthening connection between heart and mind, and bow towards yourself. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Thank you. So you guys all know the deal. If you would like to donate to Dope Moments, you can Venmo posers at posers. And just note that for Dope Moments, we'll make sure that all of these funds get utilized for our different partnerships with Roots and the Pike Market Food Bank. You can also donate directly to them if you want to. We were talking a little bit in one of our chats that some people work corporate jobs that'll actually match donations, and some companies are actually like matching it like every dollar to like $2. So just know, like, I don't know if that's your situation, if that's your job does that, like that's dope. Like definitely take advantage of that. But we're so grateful that you're here and you're still practicing in this way, practicing with posers. Thank you so much to Colin for being my movie star. Anna, Dave, do we have anything else that or Tyler's here, do we have anything else we want to say?
No. No, thank you guys. That's all.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm figuring out how to get these recorded onto our YouTube page, so hopefully we'll have some of those
for playback, and you can maybe share them with your friends or just keep coming to class. You know, this is kind of all now just like teaching out of our homes. This was my first time kind of experimenting with it. So we're working different angles, you know, and I just appreciate all y'all being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
See you in class.
What was the Venmo?
Posers. It's at Poseurs.
Yes, you are.
Put it in the chat too.
It's in the chat. Yeah, thank you. I know. Yeah, thank God. I need to make like a little card or a little like
You should just replace your name.
yeah, just
Like-
replace my name with my Venmo, totally. But is it Donnell?
It's Donnell.
Donnell, yeah, make sure it says dope moments in the comments for the Venmo. Yeah, appreciate it. I'll know, but it's helpful. Cool.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.